Hello and welcome to Finextra TV. I'm Alex Lippitt and you join us here in Lisbon for EBAday 2024. And I'm very pleased to be kindly joined by Wim Grosemans of BNP Paribas. Wim, it's great to see you here.
Likewise.
Thank you for joining us. So if you could kindly set the scene for us, how is the commercial payments market evolving, do you think? Particularly in the payments industry at the moment?
Well, it's an interesting question. It's a short question, but I think the answer can be very long, so I'll try to be concise. So, yeah, we're offering with BNP Paribas payment services in 50 countries in the world, so the stack of work is quite full. You can look at it from an infrastructure perspective as well as from a truly commercial perspective. I'll just give a view of the two. And obviously, we see an important movement to implement instant payments across the board, to implement ISO 2022 across the board for cross-border payments. So the book of work is full with lots of things to do on the plumbing side, but in order to basically create the new payment rails of tomorrow. Now, what does that mean from a commercial perspective is that when we look at the various use cases that we serve from B2C going up to B2B, there's a lot of digitization. So digital payments are really soaring. Looking at B2C, clearly we are following the further booming of ecommerce, the transformation of classic transfers into further card payments, but also into payments via wallets, which ultimately are settled through credit transfers. Looking at the B2B space, a very important evolution is that since the COVID crisis, we really see e-commerce from the B2B perspective soaring as well. And that's really offering a number of interesting opportunities to further digitize the end-to-end experience for corporates as well, businesses when they make payments and they make purchases online.
Really interesting insight. Thank you for setting the scene for us. You mentioned instant payments. So what is the current state of instant payments at the moment, particularly across Europe and the globe, I guess?
Well, the state of play is that it's there. That's already something, and I would say it's especially there around the Eurozone, but other countries have started implementing as well and are moving. Now we have, of course, the elephant in the room is the regulation. So the regulator is imposing us to make instant payments ubiquitous. In the end, it's a good thing. Then you can debate in terms of timing and so on. It's very challenging, but tying back to my response to the earlier question, obviously we're going to really create efficient payment rails that will bring us to further fuel the economy with efficient blood running through the veins. Yeah? Now, there are a number of challenges. As I said, the timelines are quite short to implement all the requirements as imposed by the regulator. Fraud remains a very important problem that, of course, is much more present when you're looking at instant payments as compared to classic payment instruments. So, there's lots of things to do. But what I really like, and especially being here at the EBA event, is the discussions we have in the community on how to read the new rules and how to implement them, knowing that we're in this together and we're going to end up making a better Europe for payments tomorrow.
No, we're most certainly in this together, like you say. So, what do you identify as the core widespread opportunities that this implementation of instant payments can bring to the table?
I would name two, and there are more. The first one, and I really want that to be seen not only on B2C but as well on B2B, is digitizing the customer experience, i.e. I'd really like to mention SEPA request to pay. As we create efficient rails for making payments, the true value will be, once we survive all these implementations, in parallel we need to work together to enable our customers to embed the payment experience within the economic process that they have, which could be procure to pay or order to cash. That's really when I take a look at, for example, e-invoicing. If we can add to an electronic invoice a simple link that enables for an efficient collection process, that's going to be great. So we really have to work together with the banks, but also with the corporates in order to make that happen. A second interesting opportunity, and it was yesterday on the session where I was a speaker, it was 50% of votes went to that, is cross-border payments. When we make cross-border payments, we've been doing that since very long. It's kind of a chain reaction. You kind of find the intermediary points to pay in order to reach the end beneficiary. It stands to reason that when at some point there are efficient payment rails implemented across the board, it's an obvious way to make cross-border payments, tapping into those local efficient instant payment rails. So we really believe in that, but again, there is further collaboration required across the community to make sure that we implement it in a correct way. Also not immune, but at least a bit resistant to fraud, and also with the required capabilities to make sure that we get the liquidity question right as well. So lots of work to do, but exciting opportunities ahead.
It does sound exciting. Collaboration, like you say, is key, so it'd be great to see how things develop from here. But we really appreciate your time, Wim. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks to you.
We'll let you get back to the busy event. Thank you indeed. Thank you.
Bye-bye.